Thank you for tuning in to Starkey Multifamily Podcast. I have with me Aaron Fragnito. Aaron, let's, if you could, give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Reed. I'm glad to be on the show here. And yeah, I've been based in New Jersey here. We stick to what we know. We buy only New Jersey, and I've been doing this about 10 years here. Started with the small stuff, the twos and the threes and the singles, and cut my teeth there. And now we buy bigger buildings. We own a management company. We developed that by necessity because other management company was stealing from me, and developed a good management company over time and good business here. We syndicate commercial buildings. We also fix and flip single family homes and wholesale too.
Let's talk about your first multifamily. You said it was a duplex, was it?
Yep. So, the first multifamily I bought was, actually a six family. I had bought a single family home, a fix and flip that only lost $7,000, which isn't bad for your first fix and flip. You know, I know people that pay $20,000, $30,000 for a coaching package. I paid $7,000 for mine. And I got a six family after that. Seth Martinez, my business partner today, and I teamed up on a six family. And we found it through We Buy Houses sign that I stapled to a telephone pole, which you're really not supposed to do. That's technically littering, just by the way. A little legal advice there. And basically, we found a good deal that way. We bought it for below market value, put some money into it, got a hard money lender, probably paid way too much for the money. But it got done. We did very well on the real estate, leased it out, refinanced it using Provident Bank, and we're able to get back all of our initial investment and cash flow on the real estate. And we still own it to this day, and it's worth a lot more than we paid for it. So it's a nice little cash flow, a little bit of cash flow, every month as well.
Well, but it's a infinite return on investment, it sounds like. So you got all your money back out of it and just cash flow. And so that's, the dream of what everybody's looking for. So tell me about the property manager. Don't go into too many details, but you had some problems with property managers, and it caused you to start your own property management company.
Yeah. Well, we had hired a very popular management company. I won't name names, of course, but everyone's probably heard of them, and they really overpromised and underdelivered. So after that, we figured, let's go with more of a small mom and pop management company that cares about us a little more and wants to give us really good service, as of course promised by the property management owner. And he ended up meeting tenants of the property, collecting the first month's rent, security deposit, signing a fake lease, and then turning around and meeting someone else there 2 hours later and doing the same thing for the same unit. So, he would lease out the same unit to 6 or 7 people, collect the money, and run. I remember he kept asking for the security deposits, which is pretty normal to actually have your management company hold security deposits, depends on how you do it. But and I wouldn't give it to him. My partner was like, it's a normal, it's part of the agreement we signed. But I was like, I'm not going to give him the security deposits. We're going to hold on to those for now. He can still manage the real estate. It's fine. We'll hold on to security deposits to release as necessary. And, then he, a few weeks later, ran off with everyone else's security deposits and stole from a handful of landlords, millions of dollars. It was a whole big thing. And we had taken him to court. And I was actually one of the first individuals. I'm a realtor. So I got paid out of a real estate fund that's put together in New Jersey for realtors that are wronged in transactions. And this fell into that category. Even though I wasn't acting as a realtor necessarily, but so there you go. I got my piece of a government handout there, and it was a good experience. By necessity, we had to develop our own real estate management company, and it was a little bit of growing pain. We developed a special company that doesn't just collect the rent and call a plumber when the pipe leaks. It's much more depth than that. We really reposition the buildings. It's a ton of work. You go in there, and you have to explain to the tenants that the rent is due on the 1st. You can't skip a month. There might be drug dealers or people in the building that are causing problems. You have to file evictions. There might be cash for keys negotiations, and just a lot of construction or general wear and tear improvement of the building. And so it's different than your average management company. It's our secret weapon. It's necessary for repositioning apartment buildings.
Well, yeah, and that's, I know some very successful people that have their own management companies as well. And most of the bigger players do merge into having their own management company. So that's a good thing moving forward. Tell me, some of your progress into getting into bigger buildings. How did that transition happen?
Sure. Well, bigger the better generally for multifamily real estate, and it is better to start with smaller stuff. It's easier to manage, a 2 to 6 unit than it is a 100 unit. But so yeah, we basically start with the six, and we bought a lot of twos and property packages, and we work in Newark, we work in Patterson, we work in Plainfield, we work in inner city areas where there's just a lot of twos and threes. Most of the buildings are 3 families or 2 families, and so you can just scoop them up a lot more often, a lot cheaper. And especially a few years ago in inner city areas, we would scoop up packages, property packages, maybe 3 2 families and 3 3 families and a 4 unit, and all in the same city, and through one measure or another, and closing them. So we would do that, and we got up to about 100 units by buying twos and threes and fours. And the challenge was, when you buy a 2 family property, you buy 6 2 family properties. It's not like buying a 12 unit. You're buying 4 walls and 1 roof for every 2 units. You're buying a lot more roofs, a lot more walls. When you do that, you're better off buying a 12 unit under 1 roof with 4 walls, 12 units inside. That's a much more profitable scenario. And we figured that out over time. And we would buy, renovate, refinance the buildings. We recycle cash. I would raise capital through my real estate network known as New Jersey Real Estate Network, which has about 3,300 members today, and is still a primary source of new capital for our company. And so yeah, we just focused on once we had the management company, there was a lot of loss with that up front. We put a contractor on payroll, and he was a great contractor, and we put him on payroll, and all of a sudden jobs took a lot longer to get done, and it was just things weren't being fixed right. So we recognized that when you pay someone on a production basis and you just say, you know what, I'm just going to give you a check every day instead, you don't get the same service. So a lot of growing pains like that, and just now all of our contractors are independent contractors. No one's on payroll except for my all-star property manager, Lena. We keep it lean and mean.
Let's give some advice to somebody who wants to start out with a duplex or 3 4 unit. What would somebody do? So that's obviously a little bit more affordable, a little bit easier to get into for most people. Where would somebody start to approach that?
Well, in our place, the best place to find that is either through direct mail to out-of-state owners or sheriff's sale auctions. Sheriff's sale auctions are a little more difficult. You need to put down a hard deposit. So for a starter, let's not suggest that. If you're really starting off, you want to just go with direct mail. If you have a little bit of money, a couple $1,000s, you can do a nice direct mail campaign. And that's how we find most of our deals. Okay. You can also try driving for dollars, which when you drive around and, skip trace owners of homes that are abandoned or run down. And that can work, but that's a hard roundabout way to get a deal, especially in the North Jersey competitive market. We buy houses. Signs used to work well. Those signs you see on telephone poles. Just don't put your cell phone number on them, because it'll be easier to figure out who you are then. So you just, direct mail is the best way to find an out-of-state owner. Focus on out-of-state owners or non-owner occupants, older demographics, and start the conversation about, what they want for their property, the issues with their property. Go check out properties, focus on a city, an area that's local to you, no more than 30 minutes, and just narrow down on one area, one city, or a couple cities around, a couple small towns or cities, and just be the best you can in that city. Know the right brokers, agents, wholesalers, contractors, figure out tax liens, figure out sheriff's sale properties. But as far as getting started, direct mail is a great way to go. Put together some capital from friends and family. Your network, your sphere of influence is the best way to start with raising capital. And then talk to a hard money lender or a commercial or lender, or, depending on the property. If it needs a lot of work, you're going to need to get a hard money lender together. Then you're going to get the capital, renovate it from the lender, and then refinance out. That's what I did. We would buy them with a harder money loan at higher interest, maybe 12% interest, 2 points, something like that. But we don't have to put down 10% of the purchase price and the construction costs. And we'd leverage that capital we have. I'd saved up 20 grand from selling houses as a realtor. That helped me learn the business as well and make connections. and get some money. So we put that down, leverage it with a hard money loan. The hard money gives you the money to buy it and renovate the home. And you need a little extra cash as well yourself to make sure surprises and operating costs are covered. And then we refinanced. We got the loan property fixed up, leased out for top dollar in about a 6 to 8 month period. Went to a local bank, went to Provident Bank. We work a lot with different local banks now, all types of banks. And small local banks will give you the types of loans you're looking for to refinance a nice renovated 6-family property is what I had in that case. I bought a 6-family for $220. We put another 80 to 100 into it, and it appraised in the 4s. So we were into it for about $350, let's say, operating costs, closing costs, everything else, holding costs. And I refinanced it, appraised around I think the high 4s, actually like 480 something, and pulled out our cash we put in. So we got our cash back, paid off the hard money loan, got a nice low interest loan, make a little money on each door per month. Our management company makes a management fee, helps cover our management costs, and it's a tax write-off as well. So we got our money back, and it keeps on giving.
I think that's a really good point. You brought so you said you have a money raising network.
Yes, that is probably that's our meat and potatoes for bringing in capital. We also have pretty good social media marketing and branding, but basically at the end of the day, it's about who you know and your track record locally. We buy local real estate. We mostly work with local investors because they can drive out to the real estate. They like that. Most guys in the North Jersey market are preaching Kentucky or Ohio or Florida or North Carolina. I'm here saying, hey guys, it's 20 minutes away. I could drive you out to the property right now. You want to see it? Investors like that. But yeah, it's called New Jersey Real Estate Network. And New Jersey Real Estate Network is a meetup group on meetup.com. And I started about 6 years ago, and I give a lot to it. I do seminars all the time. I do webinars. It's work, but it's okay. It's our main source of new capital. I don't charge for anything. It's a little pro bono, but it's basically what it is. You have to give good content, good educational material out to the general public. We have food at our events and things like that. There's a cost to it. We do advertise our events on Facebook a little bit to get the right individuals in the room that we're looking for. And we have different events here at the office. We'll cover a 1031 tax deference at one of our events. We do Realtors Building Wealth, which is realtors based, realtors that want to kind of convert their residential business into investing in commercial real estate with us here. We have a general networking group on the second Tuesday of the month where we do a Shark Tank, and people pitch deals to us, and we pick the deal out. We pick on the deal, and we ask tough questions, and then we make an offer. And mostly it's not accepted because we lowball them, and someone in the crowd makes a better offer. So it's really just fun. We have a good time, and we educate as well. I have different speakers come, attorneys and different specialists and investors, and they speak and I speak, and I teach about how we do our syndicates. I teach about case studies. So we have all different types of events, webinars as well. So you don't even have to be local. You jump on one of our webinars. We have 3 webinars a month.
Awesome. So I think that's maybe a good point to bring is, you don't have to necessarily have. So if you don't have much money at all, but you really want to get started in something like a duplex or, maybe 3 or 4 to 6 units, you can really bring together some friends and family and do that as a joint venture, or I assume you're structuring these as joint ventures, or maybe you're syndicating them, but you bring together some people and put it together. So you don't have to have all the resources yourself. I think that's the biggest thing that people don't understand going into this is other people can have those resources. You don't have to know how to fix the building. You hire a contractor to do it. I think that's great. And you're bringing the money in, you're getting them paid back with the refinance, and it's really good.
Yeah, we refinance all our buildings, and Seth manages the contractors, and the construction part of the business is the hardest part of the business. So if you're getting started in real estate, in fact, one of the best suggestions I can give is don't buy something that needs a lot of work. The only place I've lost money in this business is through construction and being kind of overpromised and underdelivered and misled by contractors. Contractors don't know their limitations. You have to know their limitations as the person hiring them. And unfortunately, that takes understanding construction a little bit as well. So if you are going to do construction, you are going to do large renovations of anything, residential or commercial real estate, probably bring on a partner like a builder or contractor who's an equity partner in the deal of some type. So if it doesn't work out, he doesn't, get paid as much either, or she. And so you always want to be aware, the incentive of your contractors. Are you paying them every day they're on the job site, right? That's a terrible strategy. Then they're just going to be on the job site every day. You have to pay them when the deck is done. You don't pay them if they're on the job site working on the deck. You pay them when the deck is done. So it's very important to understand the process of how to work with contractors, pay contractors, what construction involved. And if you don't know a lot about that, you don't have a partner that's willing to team up with you on that, then focus more on existing, turnkey real estate that is just more lipstick on a pig, worn out landlords. That is what we focus on. We do about $20,000 of marketing to find one worn out landlord, one guy who's 85 years old and says, I bought this years ago. I'm tired of walking up the steps. I've always managed it myself. I never hired a management company, because I do everything better than everyone else, and da-da-da. And you're like, okay, good work. What do you want for the property? And he just said, I want a little more than I paid for it 50 years ago or 20 years ago. So worn out landlords that never figured out properly how to own real estate, still manage themselves, and just want to dump the real estate. That's the target customer we're looking for as far as buying real estate. It takes a lot of direct mail to find that individual, but once you do, you develop a relationship with them. They often have other buildings as well, and they like you the way you work, then they'll continue to sell you the real estate at a decent price.
That's great. So tell me a little bit about your plans for the future. Where you plan to take this?
Well, we want to get to 60 million in the next 5 years. We're up to about 10 million right now. We sold off a little bit of real estate this year as well. We just kind of got rid of the pork, the stuff that wasn't making money. And so now we have a nice portfolio of about 10 million. And we're getting better real estate, Class B, Class C real estate. And we're trying to get up to about 60 million in holdings over the next 5 years through multifamily property, apartment buildings, mixed use real estate. We're looking at some development opportunities and talking to some builders. We've cut our teeth on about 50 fix and flips in the last 8 years or so. And ground up development is something that's really been interesting to us for some time. And we think we might be moving a little bit in that direction as well to help us get to that $60 million portfolio. But just looking for the right opportunities, taking our time. If I don't find the right building to buy, then I'm not going to buy anything. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to keep raising capital and buy the good stuff and buy you make your money when you buy in real estate, no matter if you're going to hold on to it forever and refinance or fix and flip and sell 2 weeks later, or just flip the building like we do a lot. We'll just buy a residential building and just flip it out as is. But yeah, we have a 5-year plan to get to 60 million.
That's awesome. So tell me, how would somebody get a hold of you if they're looking to get, into that money raising investing group or, property management? How would they get a hold of you?
Yeah. Well, we don't actually manage anyone else's real estate. We only manage our own real estate. But our website is peoplescapitalgroup.com. We buy buildings almost every 3 or 4 months, and we're always looking to put together capital from private investors. We can work with accredited investors. We can work with sophisticated investors. That means basically if you have the capital to invest and you understand the investment opportunity, you can work with us. So we have individuals who are contractors who self-directed their IRA, $50,000 into a building with us and own a piece of a large building and get cash flow and tax appreciation. And we have multi-million-dollar accredited investors have over 7 figures with us. And so we really work with all types of investors. We buy only in New Jersey. We manage everything in-house. The investments are completely passive, nice, consistent returns, cash flow, tax write-offs, big lump sum of cash on the refinance, and a very good tax strategy as well. So yes, peoplescapitalgroup.com. We're called People's Capital Group. We're here in Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. If you're local to New Jersey, come check us out. Come check out our meetup group. It's New Jersey Real Estate Network, meetup.com. and peoplescapitalgroup.com has that info as well. But yeah, we have an event here on the 8th, coming up October 8th. It was second Tuesday of the month. We always have our big networking event, dinner and education and networking opportunities. So come check us out on the second Tuesday of the month, or just jump on one of our webinars if you're not local. And you can find that all at peoplescapitalgroup.com.
Awesome. Well, yeah, if you're local in the New Jersey area, go check out that meetup. I'm sure it'll be a great asset for you. So Aaron, thanks for coming on. I greatly appreciate you sharing your story with us, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Rita. I had a great time, and I'll keep you posted on my progress. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.